He is the most arrogant man in the world. At the courtroom where he was being judged, he casually handed his lawyer a cup of coffee. But before the lawyer could speak, an unexpected event occurred. Edward ended up in his own hospital. What he couldn't accept, however, was that the man lying in the bed next to him was a complete stranger. He yelled for a private luxury room, but the hospital only had rooms with 2 beds, and the policy was one he himself had set. Edward had no choice but to accept the situation. After some tests, it turned out that Edward was also diagnosed with a terminal illness. The more tragic part, however, was that while his fellow patient Carter had family members visiting him every night, Edward only had his assistant by his side. To hide his sadness and despair, Edward asked his assistant to prepare lavish dinners for him every day. But because of his illness, he ended up vomiting it all back up that same night. The entire night, Edward was in agony. When faced with death, all lives are equal. The 2 men began to understand each other, slowly learning to appreciate one another. They shared the same pain, and as a result, they gradually became friends. But their newfound bond didn't last long. One day, the doctor brought some bad news. They had less than a year to live. Upon hearing this, the room fell silent. Edward fell into a deep silence, and it lasted until morning. Their mood remained terrible. Edward spotted a piece of paper on the floor. Carter quickly reached for it, eager to keep it to himself. It was his will, a list of his final wishes. Edward, however, found these ordinary wishes lacking. So he added 2 more wishes to the list. He wanted to go wild one last time. Then he invited Carter to join him in fulfilling these wishes. But Carter hesitated.